Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, lovers of all ages. Sounds like the greeting at the circus. Well, love can be a lot like a circus. Some laughs, some tears, chills, thrills, and spills. To quote Chuckles the Clown, a little song, a little dance, a little seltzer down your pants. And of course, some music. This afternoon, we'll give you a crash course on the journey of love, from courtship to marriage to family. So sit back, relax, hold hands, and as Shakespeare said, love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind, and therefore is winged Cupid painted blind. Or something like that.
Angelica, mio amore, io solo posso amarti. Forse sono i tuoi riccioli biondi sporchi, che cascano sulle tue spalle, le tue rughe nella tua fronte e sporciglia dense, che sostengono quei piccoli occhi grigi. Uno che guarda a sud, l'altro a nord. Chi può dimenticare i tuoi piccoli labbra rosea che incorniciano il tuo sorriso? Ma la più importante, sì più importante, delle ricche del tuo padre è la tua incredibile voce rauca, che somiglia a una rana che soddisfa il mio cuore.
You want to know what he really said?
Angelica, my love.
You alone I love. Perhaps it is your greasy blonde curls that cascade down your bony shoulders, or those bushy eyebrows that frame your beady little eyes, one that looks to the south and the other to the north. Who can forget your small rosy lips that frame your toothy smile? But most important, yes, even more important than the riches of your father, is that incredible frog-like voice that fills my heart. I'm warning you, you can't trust these Italians.
impegnato a vita mia
It's a song about some woman named Catherine, some double-crossing whore. The language of love? Seriously?
Okay. What or where is love? I really need to know because lately I've been feeling bewitched, bothered, and bewildered. However, another part of my problem is that whenever I'm not near the girl that I love the girl I'm near. I guess this sounds like careless love. Sometimes I think I'm just falling in love with love. I mean, I don't think of her as the cream in my coffee, or demand that she not sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. And I've never left my heart in San Francisco. But if this isn't love, or true love, then when the Beatles sing, "All you need is love," well, what kind of fool am I? Is love just around the corner waiting for me? Can someone tell me what is this thing called love?
I can. Well, in the old days, a guy just said, "Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer true." Then she said, "I love you truly." And then they both whispered, "It had to be you." So the parents announced, "Hello, young lovers. How about a little love and marriage?"
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer true. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage, I can't afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two.
Daniel, Daniel, here is my answer true. I'm not crazy, all for the love of you. If it isn't a fancy carriage, then there just won't be a marriage. For I'll be damned if I be cramped on a bicycle built for two.
So what's it like falling in love? Imagine a game show. Being in love is better than being in blank.
In jail.
In a dentist chair.
In a holding pattern over Newark Liberty International Airport.
But not if she doesn't love you back.
Love is when it's 10 p.m. and you have this gnawing need for fudge brownie ice cream. And even though you're not sick or pregnant, he drives to the nearest ice cream store to buy you some. Note, if he goes around telling people about it at parties, deduct 20 points from his salary.
That I've been dreaming
Love usually results in courting, going steady, going together, getting engaged, and other arrangements. More often than not, it leads to marriage. It can all get a little overwhelming. Thus, as a public service, the various stages of love can be explained as such.
The courtship. He offers you the last shrimp in his shrimp cocktail, and you say, no, thank you.
The engagement. He offers you the last shrimp in a shrimp cocktail, and you accept it.
The beginning of marriage. He no longer offers you the last shrimp in his shrimp cocktail. But whenever you ask for it, he gives it to you.
Later in the marriage, he not only no longer offers you the last shrimp in his shrimp cocktail, but whenever you ask for it, he says he wishes you'd ordered your own shrimp cocktail.
Still later in the marriage, he not only no longer offers you the last shrimp in his shrimp cocktail, but if he ever offered it, you wouldn't accept it. The end of the marriage. You decide that shrimp is a metaphor for love.
When somebody loves you, it's no good unless he loves you all the way. Happy to be near you when you need someone to cheer you all the way. Taller than the tallest tree is, that's how it's got to feel. That's how deep it goes when it's real. When somebody needs you, it's no good unless he needs you all the way. Through the good or lean years, and for all those in between years, come what may. Who knows where the road will lead us? Only a fool would say. But if you let me love you, it's for sure I'm gonna love you all the way. All the
Marriage is where it starts to get complicated, because marriage involves not only two people, but two families.
My mother was grateful he wasn't barefoot. His mother was grateful I wasn't pregnant. My father was grateful he wasn't of a different race, color, or creed. His father was grateful I wasn't anorexic. Worst.
My sister was grateful her husband was richer and taller. His sister was grateful she had a master's degree and a better nose. My cousin in luggage was grateful he didn't expect a discount. His cousin, the dentist, was grateful I didn't need a root canal.
My aunts and uncles were grateful he came from a nice family in New Jersey, even though he wore sunglasses in the living room, which is usually a sign of depravity. His aunts and uncles were grateful I came from a nice family in New Jersey, even though I lived in Greenwich Village, which is usually a sign of depravity.
I should be pleased.
It's very clear our love is here to stay, not for a year, but ever and a day. The radio and the telephone and the movies that we know may just be passing fancies, and in time may go. But oh my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble. They're only made of clay, but our love is here to stay.
Fine. The families are now in sync. But are the young lovers?
I know what I wish Ralph Nader would investigate next. Marriage. It's not safe. Not safe at any speed. Do you realize that every day, the unwary and unready leap into an arrangement that has no guarantee, no warranty, no money back? Even with the present divorce rate, most people still marry with the conviction that they will remain together until death do them part. And in this enlightened era, that could be one hell of a long time. Have you faced up to the fact that it's harder to get a driver's license than a marriage license? In most states, prospective drivers have to take an eye test, a written test, and a road test. It would be harder, I know, to arrange a road test for marriage, which would duplicate actual traffic conditions. But it could be done. An engaged couple could be asked to live for 1 week in a third-floor walk-up apartment with 4 children under the age of 10, 2 of whom have colds, a sink that is stopped up, and a puppy that wasn't housebroken. This would prove an eye-opener to the young couple. It would also provide a week's vacation for the parents of the four kiddies, which would, of course, be good for their marriage. Lastly, there absolutely should be a written test. I know that psychiatrists say that the chief causes of trouble in a marriage are money, sex, and in-laws. But it has been my observation that it isn't what people do in these major areas that's so important, it's more what they say. Here is where a written test would help. Just as potential drivers go on record indicating that they are aware that one never parks in front of a fire hydrant, the about-to-be married ought to show that they are aware that one never asks, "How did you ever get out of high school without learning to add?" Or, "Is this the same lamb we had 3 nights ago?" Therefore, I have made up my own little multiple-choice test to weed out the unmarriageable. It's audience participation time. Let's see how everyone does. How is the roast beef? Is the correct response A, roast beef? I thought it was pot roast. B, honey, do we have any ketchup? Or C, great. Let's try another one. Can you tell that I've lost weight? Careful with this one, fellas. A, not really. I'd say you have to lose another 10 pounds before it really begins to show. B, if you say so. Or C, Wow! Do you love me as much as the day we were married? A. Yeah, I love you as much as the day we were married. B. Oh God, not again. Or C. If you have to ask that question, honey, it must be my fault. I must not be showing you all the love that I truly give. This one knows it. Will you lower the volume on that damn ball game? A. If I lower that ball game, all I'll hear is you screaming at the kids. B. When you're listening to American Idol, I can hear it down the block. C. Oh, is it bothering you? Why don't I go up to the guest room and watch the game on the small TV? See a pattern starting to develop here? If she says, you never talk to me, you should respond with A. I don't talk to you because the only topics in the world that interest you are Billy's rotten report card and your rotten dishwasher. B. Of course I talk to you. What am I doing now? Or C. And here I was sitting and thinking how beautiful you are and how lucky I am and how peaceful it was. When you write a check, will you, for God's sake, please write down the amount somewhere? A. Why do you carry on like a crazy person? Nothing ever happens. We haven't had a check bounce yet. B. Okay, you're Donald Trump. You write out the checks. Or C. Yes. Egad, does our kid have to eat that way? A. No, I coach him to eat that way because I know it drives you crazy. B. That kid just happens to be your kid. Anytime you want to give him your famous lecture on table manners, I'll be rooting for you. C. Darling, I want to reprimand him, but he's so exactly like you that I just melt. All right, last one, because it works both ways, ladies. If the man should have the temerity to ask, "Oh Lord, you're crying again. What is it this time?" The best answer is A. I spent 3 hours stuffing the veal and you never even said it was good. I had my hair done and you didn't even notice. It rained all day and the kids were like maniacs, and after I sewed all the buttons back on Jimmy's sweater, he lost it in the park, and you never ever offered to help me do anything around here. B. Because I want to marry George Clooney and live in one of his lakeside villas and be waited on hand and foot. Or C. Because I'm silly and I don't count my blessings. Come on, give me a little squeeze, take out the garbage, and I'll be through here in no time. Well, there you have it. Of course, I don't mean to suggest that this test is either foolproof nor definitive. I mean only to be the first pebble in the avalanche that is sure to come. But perhaps I should add just one final cautionary note. Those persons out there who found themselves anticipating the correct answer in each instance are probably so perfect that they would drive any other human being bonkers. I suggest they remain single. Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage. This I tell you, brother, you can't have one without the other. Love and marriage, it's an institute you can't disparage. Ask the local gentry, and they will say it's elementary. Try to separate them, it's an illusion. Try, and you will only come to this conclusion. Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage. Dad was told by mother have none. You can't have one without the other.
Of course, marriage is a work in progress, and one particular aspect of it is a whole new sphere for both parties. It's the real Venus versus Mars period.
During the last century, there was a lot of talk about women's rights. Speaking for myself, I have all the rights I can stand. Think of the rights I have, the freedoms I have, that were totally unknown to my grandmother. Did she have a car so she could drive the kids to Cub Scouts, to ballet lessons, to the orthodontist? Was she free to lay asphalt tile in the bathroom? Did she have the tiles? Or did she have the daring do? Or the bathroom? I tell you, one more right and I'll be off to the Menninger Clinic.
Of course, women still do have their just grievances, but these have had so much publicity lately that I'm sure they'll be rectified any minute. Shouldn't we give some consideration, just a little, to the real underdog, the man? Men, too, are downtrodden, but in ways so subtle that their plight never reaches the news or the newspapers. Men have not yet begun to organize.
Let me give you a hint of what the ordinary man, the average husband, is subjected to daily or nightly. As you probably know, one reason why most women have such pleasant relationships with their doctors is that they don't complain to their doctors. They complain to their husbands. The following scene takes place at night. Peggy and Jim are preparing to go to bed. Peggy is 7 months pregnant.
I don't know, Jim. Something terribly odd is happening. If I lean over, I get this awful stabbing pain. It seems to start in my right rib cage, and then goes right through to my shoulder blades. I don't seem to remember anything like this happening when I was pregnant with Billy.
Did you call the doctor?
Oh, what would I call him for?
Because you have this awful stabbing pain that makes you go, ugh.
For heaven's sakes, if everybody called the doctor about every least little thing, he'd never get any work done.
Every little thing? You just got through saying the pain was stabbing.
Well, that's true. It slices through me like a carving knife. But I've learned to deal with it. I mean, usually if I take some baking soda and lie flat on the rug, it eases up. What really worries me is my fingers.
Your fingers? What about your fingers?
When I wake up, they're so swollen that honestly, they look like bananas. This morning, I couldn't even turn off the alarm clock. I knocked it right off the nightstand. Didn't you hear the clunk?
So when do you see the doctor?
On Tuesday. Helen, the girl who does my hair, she says it sounds like I'm getting toxic. What do you think?
Look, Helen, who does your hair, is not a diagnostician. I am not a diagnostician. Will you, for God's sake, please check all these things with your doctor?
Later, in the doctor's office. Well, Peggy, I want you to tell me all about yourself. How are you getting along?
We're fine, doctor, just fine. But Jim is getting awfully edgy.
Let's move on to another evening along about 11:15. Jim, who has not enjoyed a movie since he saw Dumb and Dumber, agreed to take Peggy to a show because she was going to snap if she didn't get out of the house. They are now back home after the movie.
Boy, that was a rotten movie.
I told you it was going to be a rotten movie.
You didn't say it would be that rotten.
Well, I couldn't say precisely how rotten because I hadn't yet seen it.
Well, then why were you so sure it would be rotten?
Because I have second sight. Also because I read the reviews. I mean, what the hell did you expect from a movie that's advertised as a bawdy adventure?
I should have stayed home and watched Law and Order. I could have cleaned the oven. We would have saved $20. You don't say anything?
No, I don't say anything.
Really, Jim, I was embarrassed to be seen walking out of that theater. And that horrible actor, what's that disease men have that makes them sexy every living minute?
Hypersexuality, and it's not a disease. I've never been able to catch it.
There you go. You see a movie like this and you start talking this way. Why would you ever take me to such a filthy thing?
Because, my dear, you insisted. I will quote your exact words. You said,
I don't want to go see Ninja Assassin. I want to see one of those movies everyone's talking about.
Not only was it dirty, it was just plain dumb. At first there was that orgy with all those bare behinds and all those pastries. Then two men go off by themselves, and then two women go and do the same. I mean, what's that supposed to mean?
a big girl like you should be able to figure it out.
Well, I can't.
Good. And you've been spared something. Now, can we both agree that it was a rotten movie? Can we just stop talking about it, please?
Okay. But just tell me what they were supposed to be doing.
Hey, do yourself a favor and just forget it.
Not until you tell me.
Okay, I'll tell you.
You're making that up! I don't believe it for a single minute. You know something? You have a dirty mind.
Certain questions pose themselves. Is there any hope for Peggy? No. Is there any hope for Jim? No. In a situation where both parties are absolutely equal because there is no hope for either of them, which party has to go to the wrong movie and provide medical care? I thought you'd guess.
We met at 9.
We met at 8.
I was on time.
No, you were late.
Ah, yes, I remember it well. We dined with friends.
We dined alone.
A tenor sang.
A baritone.
Ah, yes, I remember it well. That dazzling April moon.
There was none that night, and the month was June.
That's right, that's right.
It warms my heart to know that you remember still the way you do.
Ah, yes, I remember it well. How often I thought of that Friday
Monday
night when we had our last rendezvous, and somehow I foolishly wondered if you might by some chance be thinking of it too. That carriage ride,
you walked me home.
lost a glove.
I lost a comb.
Ah, yes, I remember it well. That brilliant sky,
We had some rain
those Russian songs.
from sunny Spain.
Ah, yes, I remember it well. You wore a gown of gold.
I was all in blue.
Am I getting old?
Oh no, not you. How strong you were, how young and gay, a prince of love in every way.
Ah, yes. I remember it well.
Poor Peggy and Jim. Conversations between a man and a woman can be fraught with peril. And while it's true that some mates spend so much time together that it seems like they can almost finish each other's sentences, sometimes the less said is not always the best said.
Is this love?
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Love hurts.
Love is all around.
Love stinks.
Love is in the air.
Love bites.
Love is like oxygen. You get too much, you get too high. Not enough, and you're gonna die.
Love is strange.
Love is the drug.
Love is a battlefield.
Love is higher than a mountain. Love is thicker than water.
Love is a stranger.
Love me. Love me do. Love me tender.
Love takes time.
Love me tonight.
Love me tomorrow.
Love me 2 times.
Love don't live here anymore.
Love will lead you back. Love will keep us together. Love grows where my rosemary goes. Love is the answer. Love will never do without you.
All you need is love?
The result of all this, how do I love you, and you never talk to me anymore, often ends up with what folks like to call a little bundle of joy.
Last year, I talked about black humor and the effect of the common market on the European economy. And through clever little cocktails in our discerningly eclectic living room, with the Spanish rug and the Chinese chest and Lucite chairs, and was occasionally hungered after by highly placed men in communication. But this year, we have a nice baby, and Pavlin drying on the Spanish rug. And I talk about nursing versus sterilization while men in communications hunger elsewhere.
Last year, I studied flamenco and had my ears pierced, and served an authentic fondue on our Belgian marble table in our discerningly eclectic dining area. But this year, we have a nice baby. And Dr. Spock on the second shelf of our Chinese chest. And instead of finding myself, I am doing my best to find a sitter for the nice baby banging the Belgian marble table with his cup, while I heat the oven up for TV dinners.
Last year, I had a shampoo and a set every week, and slept an unbroken sleep beneath the Venetian chandelier of our discerningly eclectic bedroom. But this year, we have a nice baby, and Gerber's strained bananas in my hair, and gleaming beneath the Venetian chandelier, a diaper pail, a porta-crib, and him, a nice baby drooling on our antique satin spread, while I smile and say, how nice. It is often said that motherhood is very maturing.
Just in time, I found you just in time. Before you came, my time was running low. I was lost, the losing dice were tossed. My bridges all were crossed, nowhere to go. Now you're here, and now I know just where I'm going. No more doubt or fear, I found my way. For love came just in time. You found me just in time, and changed my lonely life that lovely day. Just in time, I found you just in time. Before you came, my time was lost, the losing dice were tossed, my bridges all were crossed, nowhere to go. Now you're here, and now I know just where I'm going. No more doubt or fear, I found my way. For love came just in time. You found me just in time and changed my lonely life that lovely day.
And so, the private, uninterrupted moments pass and become hours of family togetherness. One such time is the family vacation. When on a long family trip, it is best to remember that old adage, time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana.
For years, my husband and I have advocated separate vacations. But the kids always find us. We have always said if we could just mail ourselves to where we're going, we might arrive in a happier holiday mood. But it's all the miles in between that make traveling as giddy as the Nuremberg trials. We once picked up a hitchhiker who wrote us a check to let him out of the car. Although each vacation spot is a new, exciting adventure, the trip by car is rather predictable. First, there is the blessing of the car, followed by Captain Daddy's "Give 'em hell" speech.
All right, gang, you're probably wondering why we're gathered here today. We're about to embark on what can be a wonderful vacation together. That depends on you. First, I want to make a few remarks about the car. You'll notice it has a floor in it. That is for your feet. At no time, repeat, no time, do I want your feet resting on my shoulders. A good driver is an alert driver, and I cannot be at my best with a pair of yesterday's socks in my face. Second, we will not play car roulette at any time during this trip. There is nothing more frustrating than for me to look in my rear view mirror and see bodies hurtling through the air like the flying Walendas. As your captain, I will make seat assignments each morning. If there is any quarrel with these assignments, feel free to file a grievance. May I also remind you this car is not a trough. Any candy wrappers, banana peelings, stale bread, apple cores, broken straws, paper cups, or breakfast rolls must be wrapped up and thrown away or buried. I will not tolerate another fruit fly assault like last summer. Third, iPods must be turned off while you sleep. Also, the occupants of the car will not be subjected to more than 99 choruses of 99 bottles of beer in a 24-hour period. And last, there will be no reading of Mad Magazine, Sports Illustrated, or PC Gamer while we are touring breathtaking mountain ranges, historic monuments, or indescribable cathedrals. Remember, you are going to have a wonderful time. Even if I have to break every bone in your body.
And as the kids pile into the car, my husband and I usually look deep into each other's eyes, over the top of the car, and remember when.
I loved you once in silence, and misery was all I knew. Trying so to keep my
As the years go by, the car becomes a witness to even more family fun. Consider the mother who was told that having a daughter who could drive would be a blessing. And consider the daughter who, up until now, believed everything a mother did, she did out of love.
I'm not a well woman, Debbie. You know that. After your brother was born 15 years ago, our last baby, the doctor said I would experience periods of tension and depression. I am tense and depressed now. What are you doing?
I'm putting the key in the ignition.
Don't touch a thing in this car until I tell you. First, I want you to relax. You cannot drive a car with your hands gripping the door handle and the whites of your knuckles showing.
You're the one clutching the door handle.
That's what I said. Now, just relax and put all anxieties out of your mind. Forget that behind the wheel of this car, you are a potential killer. That you are maneuvering a ton of hard, cold steel, which you can wrap around a telephone pole just by closing your eyes to sneeze. Are you relaxed?
I think so.
All right now, let's go over the checklist. Do you have flares in the trunk for when you get a flat tire?
Yes.
Do you have your cell phone so you can call AAA when the motor stops dead on you?
Yes.
Do you have your license so you can show it to the nice officer when he stops you for violating some traffic law?
Yes, Mother.
All right then, just turn the key and at the same time step on the gas.
Aren't you going to fasten your seatbelt?
Are you crazy? I may want to get out of here in a hurry. Okay, let's get on with it. Just gently touch the accelerator.
Like this?
Hold it! Stop the car! Let's get one thing straight. The radio has to be off. There's not enough room in this car for you, me, and Beyonce. Someone's got to go. I'm supervising, so it can't be me. Beyonce's just singing. She's expendable. Now, just relax and push on the accelerator. Any idiot can drive. I do it every day. Just ease along, unwind, hang loose, and don't think about the drunk over the hill waiting to slam head first into you. What are you doing now?
Stopping the car.
What for?
There is a stop sign.
Then why are you stopping back here? That stop sign is 40 feet away, for crying out loud. Pull up, give it a little gas. Go ahead. No, wait. Do you realize you almost sent me through the windshield?
I guess I'm not used to the brake step. I'm sorry.
I know. Neither was Sylvia's daughter. Remember I told you about her? Her mother was teaching her how to drive. She took off so fast, she gave her mother whiplash. I think she's out of traction now. Her daughter is wonderful, though. Never complains when she has to adjust her brace or drive her to the doctor. Now then, where are we? It looks all right. Just sneak out, and you're too close to my side of the road. We're all tensed up. Maybe if we pulled over by the curb here and relaxed a bit. You're doing fine. It's just that you lack experience. Like when you approach a car, you have to remember that anything on his side of the line belongs to him. We can't be greedy, can we? Are you relaxed? Good. Just put your signal on and enter the stream of traffic. Not too fast now.
But,
If they want to go over 25 miles an hour, let them pass. The cemeteries are full of people who passed.
you can teach me how to park?
To what?
To park.
There's nothing to it. You just go to a shopping center, make a small right angle, and there you are. When your tires hit the concrete bump, then you're there.
No. I mean, parallel park. Two cars. One in front, one in back.
Where did you hear talk like that? You're driving 10 minutes and already want to get cute with it. Sounds like a wonderful way to get your fenders dented.
Our driver's ed teacher said that it's part of the road test.
So, the driver's ed teacher is smarter than your mother. Then why isn't she sitting here getting stomach cramps? That's the trouble with teachers today. No guts. I think we're getting tired, Debbie. I have a headache and an overwhelming need for some Pepto-Bismol. Let's head back home, there's a pamphlet I want you to read on highway statistics compiled by the New Jersey State Police on Labor Day weekend.
Of course, the conversation takes on a slightly different tone when a father is instructed to check on the driving ability of his wife's reckless daughter and daddy's little girl.
You don't mind if I play the radio, do you, Daddy? Want me to go over the checklist?
Nah.
Could I also dispense with the mother may I every time I shift gears?
Sure.
Want to test me on highway statistics compiled on Labor Day weekend by the New Jersey State Police?
No. You're doing fine, honey. Wake me when we get home. Maybe what we have been describing doesn't smell of jasmine or sound like 100 violins. But perhaps the poet Judith Viorst is right when she says,
It's true love, because I put on eyeliner and a concerto and make pungent observations about great issues of the day, even when there's no one here but him. And because I do not resent watching the Green Bay Packers, even though I am philosophically opposed to football. And because when he is late for dinner, and I know he must be having an affair, or lying dead in the middle of the street, I always hope he's dead.
It's true love because if he said, quit drinking martinis, but I kept drinking them, and then the next morning I couldn't get up, he wouldn't tell me, I told you so. And because he is willing to wear unironed undershorts out of respect for the fact that I am philosophically opposed to ironing.
It's true love because when he went to San Francisco on business while I had to stay at home with the painters and the exterminator and the baby who was getting the chicken pox, he understood why I hated him. And because when I said that playing the stock market was juvenile and irresponsible, and then the stock I wouldn't let him buy went up 26 points, I understood why he hated me. And because, despite cigarette cough, tooth decay, acid indigestion, dandruff, and other features of married life that tend to dampen the fires of passion, we still feel something we can call true love.
in years to come, should you forget Valentine's Day, whether accidentally or on purpose, use this knowledge, we beg you. And so, the material covered, the lesson learned, if only for one day, we could not allow this afternoon to end without a word about